Good morning and welcome to Saturday special of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. In India and in Hindu religion, the word dharma is always used. And the people who are not able to find a synonym in English consider it to be mean religion. No, it's not. Word dharma, although deemed to mean religion, is a fallacy. There's no exact equivalent in English language or in any language of the word dharma. In reality, it's a combination of spiritual, ethical, and human values and has no religious connotation at all. It is not rigid. Dharma is never rigid. It's ever changing by nature. And a thing which changes cannot be called a cult, cannot be called a religion. So, it is not a tradition, it is not a cult, it's not deen, what the Muslims would say, or Panda Sikhs would say. Or it's not a mind-created religion, no. It is basically the word of, again Hindi, guna, which has an equivalent attributes. Now, nature has bestowed on every creature, whether it's animate or inanimate. So when I say creature, I even made the metals, has a certain attribute. And that attribute constitutes the part of dharma. The second is protection of that and propagation of that attribute. For example, the attribute of salt is saltiness. It remains salty even when it's washed or crushed. A sandalwood tree, a rose, a jasmine would have their own unique fragrance. Fruits have their unique, distinct flavor and juices. That is their attribute. That is the dharma. And that cannot be altered. So, dharma is not something which is, as I said, deemed to be a religiosity or a cultural way. It is a way of thought. So, since nature has created every being and it is bestowed with certain attributes, so is man. So the dharma of man is to manifest the divine qualities, what Bible says. God created man in his own image. Now here is something which I'd like to say. Bible says in his own image. At that time the question of, I think, gender did not enter the mind of the apostles. So the dharma of a man or a woman is to be compassionate, and secondly to create beauty and harmony all around. And this extends not only to human beings, but it covers biodiversity as well. Flora, fauna, animals, anything. And man is equipped with intelligence and thoughtfulness, sensitive, concerned, considerate about the welfare of all. Now look at a child. Child by nature will smile at others and reach out to play even if someone approaches a child with a malignant, malicious intent. Child doesn't know that. The childlike simplicity and trust is in fact the basic dharma of every human being. That's the basic nature. So these are the natural qualities. And in Bhagavad Gita, that's what is mentioned, guna dharma, the dharma of the attribute. So, to remind, to resurrect and establish this, there have been people who had certain attributes of teaching, of scholarly, spiritual capability, whom you call avatars or prophets or whatever. And they led by being an example so that man does not lose his basic humanity. That was the purpose of the Prophet. It was not to teach rituals, it was not to establish tradition, but it was to bring out the latent quality of human beings, exploit them. And those qualities, when they are exploited, and maintenance and adherence to those qualities is dharma. Now, dharma of a man is, to use the Sanskrit words, shashvat sanatan satya, that is eternal and perpetual truth. Now, human created religions usually enslave one to certain ideology and a philosophy. Dharma in reality is true spirituality that directs and propels you on the growth, progress, path of growth and path of evolution. And your attribute as a human being to strive, to seek, to find and not to yield is the basic one, and not to yield to the temptations, not to yield to all the things which can bring disturbance of your mind, which can disturb your equanimity. Now, man, according to the Hindu philosophy, is made of 5 elements. And qualities of that elements are reflected in the conduct of being. They are the basic attributes, instincts that form the human dharma. And they need not be soiled by the mind tactics. The outside, it's just like you can live in the most corrupt world and still maintain your integrity. Normally what happens is in religions, the established religion, the organized religion, is that the followers take pride in belonging to the particular religion. I've seen people writing, I'm proud to be Sikh, I'm proud to be Hindu, I'm proud to be Christian. That's not relevant. What is more important is proud to be a real good human beings. That should be the focus. And real dharma is focused on that. Now each religion has adopted a fraction of the pure dharma. Buddhism lays emphasis on compassion, for example. Christianity on service. Islam on honest earning. Hinduism as a religion on karma. But Hinduism is not dharma. Let's be very clear. However, one part of Hinduism, or the parental aspect of Hinduism, is Sanatana Dharma. That is dharma. And it has only one law. And the law is imperfections have to be bidden goodbye. They have to go. And it helps everyone, should be helped, and guided to live and blossom according to their individuality, attributes, and basic specific nature and disposition. No such force. As a matter of fact, if you look at it the whole way, you would find a great change in the concept of religion. And the real dharma means not following the rituals, but following the basic instinct of man. As a matter of fact, this is dharma. What I mean by dharma is that it's based on the principle that supports and governs the whole universe and regulates all the components of the constant growth, follow the cycle of creation, perfection and destruction. The dharma of the sun is to provide light and heat. The dharma of the clouds is to give rain. So the quality of dharma, gunvata, that's the word used, is the quality of human beings that needs to be refined. And maintained. It's not only to be refined, it's not but maintained and made more and more perfect, better every day. And that's the truth of the eternal Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana is the old established, Dharma is the way of life. So much effort is made to maintain and improve the qualities of other species. If, for example, the stars do not maintain their dharma, there will be collisions in the space, and the world would be in a bad place. So people, for example, want well-bred pets, but everyone is not concerned about the qualities of the human species. That's the tragedy. The tragedy is that you want to go and buy a dog. You want to see the breed of the dog. You want to see the parentage. And the parentage of the human being is connectivity to the cosmos, a part of the nature. Now, I'm interested, quite impressed by what is in Sikh religion. And when it says body is purified by water, but the soul gets purified by your actions, so that it can get merged with the absolute reality. The Gurmani very clearly says that when you get dirty and your clothes get dirty, you use soap. But your thoughts, your actions, they are the soap to purify you. So Dharma is not religion, and is a perennial righteous way of life, and not only the way of life, is a way of living, as a matter of fact. And though Dharma is regarded as the highest virtue in Indian polity and Indic thought, its precise meaning has remained an enigma. And Dharma is used in many senses. It eludes definition, as I said, because it's so comprehensive. It stands for A, justice. It stands for intrinsic equality. It stands for the observance of the civil and the moral laws, the ethics, justice, virtue, merit, duty, morality. Now, this is so encompassing, so comprehensive, that you cannot define one. And if you look at Rigvedic notion of Rita, Rita is the cosmic order, then you will see Dharma also has varied and diverse meanings. Law, nature, rule, ideal, norm, quality, entity, element, category. And my study of Rig Veda and Upanishads shows how the uses of Dharma, the word Dharma, has passed through several transitions. And it passed through the transitions of meaning and finally settled down to signify the privileges, duties and obligations of the man. His standard as a conduct, as a human being, as a member of the community, and at a particular stage of life. So your dharma also changes. When you are a child, your dharma is maybe to play. You grow up, become a student, your dharma is to study. You get a job, your dharma is to live righteously. You are married, your dharma is to look after your children and your spouse. You retire, and then your dharma changes to help others, to volunteer, to do jobs. So the difficulty in defining dharma has been compounded by many problems. And then dharma is different kinds of dharma. There's a dharma is Vyakti dharma, that's an individual dharma. For individual, it is Kutum dharma, the family dharma, Samajik dharma, the social, Rashtra dharma, the duty to the nation, Varn dharma to the caste, Ashram dharma, the stage of life, Guna dharma to your attributes, Sadhana dharma, meditation, Seva dharma, religion of self. Self-help is and self-love is also important. And each one of them describes the rule of action. And many times there can be conflict with other rules. But then that is the capability to separate the chaff from the grain. And the source of dharma, according to sage Yajnavalkya, is Vedas, Smriti, practice of the people, religious leaders, and also the pursuit of the virtuous goals. So when you do that goals, they change according to the time, they change according to the situation, they change according to the progress of civilization, and that's why dharma is a dynamic concept. So this is a major difference of the religion normally are not changing. They remain ground in the times when they were created. For example, now, in Sikhism, when you are carrying Guru Granth from one place to another, you carry it on your head, grey, but you have got to walk barefoot. Now, that was done in Punjab where it was pretty warm and hot even, and people could travel. But then, can you imagine doing it in near Antarctica or in Arctic? You will have a frostbite. So Dharma says, don't spoil it, wear it. So it makes Dharma a more dynamic concept, and the meaning would change from time to time, from one era to other, from society to another society, and in the context. And if you look at Mahabharata, it explicitly states, in Satyayuga, dharmas were different than in Dvapar, and dharmas prescribed in Dvapar are different than in Kali Yuga. So dharma changes as per needs, aspirations, and capabilities of individuals, but the ethics and the values remain the same. Now, if you look at the Smriti and Puranas, you will find that dharmas are indeed hard to comprehend due to the basic, non-static and evolutionary nature of dharma. Here's a major difference, don't forget it. Religion is not evolutionary. Religion is static, it's hardbound. Dharma is non-static, it is evolutionary, it's growing, it's changing. So it's in more than one law. For dharma, it underlies a law and is responsible for creation of laws. Basic to dharma is a view of order, a law that prevails the universe. So dharma is which makes you aware of your duties at that time and your responsibilities, not only of yours, but vis-a-vis the whole society. And that is persistently evolving and adapting to the living society. They help society resolve stress, strains, conflicts, and confusion it faces many times. So making a distinction between the eternal and ephemeral is important. Well, the truth of the spirit are permanent. The rules would change from time to time, from place to place, from age to age. So the essential changing character of dharma is, for example, the coins made by the Mughals had no validity when the British India came and the coins were struck by the company. So binding dharma in the past may be insupportable and even objectionable at that time. So everything changes, and dharma is not static, continuously evolving, but it is definitely more ethical and spiritual in nature. It's not religion, but spiritual. That's a major thing. So dharma as such should be the guiding principle if you really want to be a better human being and understand that you are a part of that world. And your importance is as much as the whole world, and yet you are a part of the world. It's like a limb of the body. Any limb which is destroyed creates an imbalance. So, dharma, for example, of your tongue is to taste, your ear is to hear. So expand that body organs to the whole society, and then you would comprehend what dharma really means. Thank you.